Good evening, everyone. My name is Bidzina, and you are watching the Daily BAAS Buzz. And today we got the news for you: some wildfires in BC, British Columbia, and then we'll see a couple get attacked or almost attacked by a bear. Finally, we'll take a look in Ukraine and see what's going on with Zelensky and a crisis of removal of a defense minister. We then will also take a look at some of the tariffs brought on by Trump. Then we'll move on to the Hives Gone Wild segment, where we look at our viral videos brought to you by BAAS Daily. We then will finish off with the bee story of the day. But before we do that, let's then. Yeah, sorry about that. That's we just had a little technical difficulty. But before we do that, we will take a look at the bees and see what they're doing and give them some food here. All right, let's give the bees a celebratory start. Bee feeding. All right. So as you can see, some of the bees, if you look very close, you can see some of them bringing in some pollen balls. And these balls they collected from flowers. And we will give it a little bit more food. It's, this new bowl I made looks like it's dripping from the sides here. But anyways, we will now move on to the rapid swarm update. All right, for our first story. Entire British Columbia village ordered to evacuate due to encroaching wildfire. Officials in Clinton, BC have ordered the evacuation of all of the village's buildings due to the Pierre Lake wildfire. The village, which had a population of 568 and 291 private dwellings, is the center of another evacuation order issued by Thompson Nicola Regional District due to the blaze. The Highway 97 has been closed due to wildfire. There are 53 wildfire fighting personnel responding to the incident, along with 15 helicopters, 19 pieces of heavy equipment, and 11 structural protection personnel. The BC Wildfire Service reported 112 active wildfires, 60 which are considered out of control. 7 of those are designated wildfires of note, meaning they're causing increased levels of interest. It is wildfire season, folks. And speaking of wildfires, we have the story from the Narwhal. The First Nations had a wildfire plan. Ontario ignored it. Then came the flames. Premier Doug was presented with dozens of recommendations to improve the emergency response to Northern Ontario. Little progress was made before what's now estimated to be the province's worst wildfire on record. So in the summer of 2021, Grand Chief Alvin Fiddler of Nisaba Asiki Nation personally presented Ontario Premier Doug with 81-page plan to support the Northern Ontario during emergencies like wildfires. The organization represents 51 Northern Ontario First Nations, had developed a plan in response to a series of disasters between 2009 and 2019, both from flooding and wildfires, which had laid out across 27 pages. But those past disasters are nowhere near to the scale seen this summer alone, with Northern Ontario dealing with what's now estimated to be the worst wildfire season on record. Wow, this is crazy. I don't understand what's going on. Grand Chief said the provincial and federal response to the wildfire emergency in his communities has been completely inadequate. All right, on to the next rapid story. Calgary police relocate command post as search for missing boy continues. Calgary police said Friday that command post set up to aid in search for missing 11-year-old boys moved to Nose Hill, about a kilometer to the west of where original command post was set up. So there's a boy missing, and the police have moved their command post. They're still looking for him. It's incredible. Help find Parker. Check your yard. So please, folks, if you see Parker, please contact the authorities, specifically in Calgary. Now on to hikers getting attacked. Hikers charged the following video of off-leash encountering a bear in Banff. Following an investigation, Park Canada wardens identified the individuals and laid charges under the National Park's domestic animal regulations for failing to keep their dog on leash. A pair of hikers have been charged following the circulation of a viral video, which we will now watch. So there's a bear. Here, maybe we can get some sound. Hello? All right, we're going to get sound here.
Lola! What are we going to do? We got to get off the trail. He wants the beer. Lola, come here. Come on, Lola. What are we going to do? He wants the trail.
Yeah. Correct. So that's it. And they got charged. Honestly, rapid story. Next rapid story. Zelensky tries to fix crisis over removal of defense minister, and counts the cost. With an acting defense minister in place, a new commander-in-chief in charge of the military, Ukraine's recent political crisis is over. Right? Not so fast. The political fallout for President Zelensky's 15th July decision not to reappoint Fedorov as defense minister as part of a cabinet reshuffle. Excuse me, folks. It continues to reverberate about Kiev and beyond, even as their air raid sirens wail and Russian drones and missiles are intercepted overhead. So this is Fedorov. Has so far refused any alternative job Zelensky has offered him to come back. So there's some sort of crisis going on in Ukraine. Brought to you by BBC. Next story by CBC. A rapid fire story. Elections Alberta verify signatures for petition calling for independence referendum. Here we have a picture of Mitch Sylvester hold boxes of signatures submitting for separation referendum and election. Alberta says it's verified citizen initiative petition looking to force a vote on province separating from Canada was able to surpass the number of signatures they required. But the future of the petitioner remains on hold, Election Alberta said in a news release Friday afternoon. No seated names found, following an unrelated breach of voter. So this is it. So they got finally approved, and we'll see what the update will be. On to the main report, Hive report of the day. We have BNN Bloomberg, completely unjustified. How countries are reacting to Trump's tariffs and forced labor complaints. U.S. Donald Trump latest set of tariffs drive immediate objections from Americans' trading partners, including China, Japan, and Australia's trade ministers, slapping them completely unjustified. All right, folks, comment down below what you think about this before we go into a deep dive. Whoops. We're going to take a quick look at the B view and just see what they're doing. All right, so they got their head in, dunked. The videos. Whoops. We're gonna take a quick look at. Yeah, it's so laggy. I'm not sure why this is happening. Maybe we can fix it. What if we also set this to medium? What does that do? Still very laggy. Wait. I think if we go to settings and video. No, we can't do it once. All right. Well, we're just gonna have to leave it alone. But yeah, the bees. Let's give them another little feed here. Fill up the bowl. All right, they're loving it. All right. Now, they got their heads stuck in. Look at them. All right. Now let's move on to the Hive report and do our detailed dive. So, the administration announced tariffs of 10% to 12% on 60 economies late Thursday, saying that countries had failed to adequately enforce a ban on goods made with forced labor. The new tariffs took effect as stopgap levies Trump imposed after a stinging defeat at the U.S. Supreme Court expired at 12 a.m. Friday. Countries object to what they call an unfound labor claim. Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell rejected claims linking Australia, a major exporter of beef, gold, and copper, to modern slavery, and raising the tariff on its exports to U.S. 12% from 10% level imposed after Trump's Liberation Day hikes. We believe that amongst all of the countries in the world, Australia does take issue of slavery, modern slavery, seriously, and will continue to do that, Farrell told reporters. Australia believes that the higher tariffs are completely unjustified, and we will continue to lobby the United States Trade Representative as a basis for tariffs did not provide meaningful evidence to support allegations of forced labor. Tariffs are not the way. They drive up costs and uncertainty for business, he wrote. If you compare our labor laws to the ones of the United States, I mean, we have people have paid vacation, and we have very good labor conditions for our employees, so it's not really grounded. Also facing a 12% tariff, Singapore's Minister of Trade and Industry said it would continue to engage the United States to explore options. Extremely disappointed to see the new U.S. tariffs on New Zealand and 50 other 9 countries. Some hope to forestall. This was from somebody, I don't know, who's Christopher Luxon. Some hope to forestall the new tariffs. Japan likewise protested the 12.5% tariff imposed on its exports, noting Tokyo had been reassured by Trump administration there would be no more tariffs on top of the earlier agreement of 10%. Our understanding is both sides are still committed to do that, Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Karada said. It is regrettable that the measure imposes tariffs on grounds of non-existence of measure banning imports of goods made by forced labor, and even though Japan's industry and trade are in line with international rules, Kirada said. South Korea's trade minister said the announcement eased some uncertainty over U.S. trade policy, but noted Section 301 investigation into alleged Korean excesses production continues. The combined duties on South Korean exports should not exceed 15%, the minister said in statement. Thailand noted it's subject to the new 12.5% tariff by the U.S. under the forced labor provision, but the measure exempts around 2,120 items, representing more than half of the value of Thai's goods exported to the U.S. China opposes unilateral tariffs in all forms. China Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it opposes all forms of unilateral tariffs in response to the new 12.5%. Tariff wars and trade wars do not serve any party's interests, ministry spokesman Lin Jing said at a press conference. Trade tensions have clouded relations between China and U.S., two of the world's biggest economies, as Trump's hefty Liberation Day tariffs resulted in sharp drop in Chinese exports. And here we have President Xi and Donald Trump. The latest import duties might stick. Wendy Cutler, a former senior U.S. trade official, said the latest round of tariffs involved a few surprises since they range just between the 10%, 12%, 5%, 12.5% region. U.S. Trade Representative Office spent 4 months investigating the basis for those tariffs to meet legal requirements under Section 301 of the U.S. Trade Act of 1974. Time will tell whether the third attempt to impose tariffs is the charm, and this action stands up to legal challenges, said Cutler, Senior Vice President of Asian Society Policy Institute. These duties are less likely than earlier the ones to be overruled by U.S. courts, she said. Further tariffs may be coming in fall related to the alleged structural excess capacity of trading partners, she noted. Experts say that these tariffs may be less disruptive than others. Washington has generally tended to engage in increased trade friction, William Branton of BNP Paribas said in research note Friday. On positive side, however, these tariffs are lower than earlier Emergency Powers Act reciprocal tariffs and appear to exempt a substantial portion of Asia's current flows with the U.S., he said. The Trump administration has made tariffs exceptions, however, including important goods that the U.S. does not produce, Cutler noted. This should reduce impact on these duties. Nevertheless, they will contribute higher prices for both high-end consumer and for end consumers businesses importing inputs and machinery. Ilan Kadarao and Chahu Him, the Associated Press, is the authors of this. Brought to you by the Bloomberg. That has been your Hive report of today, people. So people are really pissed off about Trump's tariffs. You know, All right, let's check on the bees one last time before we go to Hives Gone Wild. All right, let's give them a little bit more food. All right, comment what you like about this, people. Let me know. All right. Now, we're moving on to Hives Gone Wild. And for our first segment, we have Dude brought his own sound effects. Excuse me.
You're not scaring anybody. You're just making. Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey. I'll take a side, buddy. I fucking told you. Man, you want another? Yes, fucking I got it all on record.
Oh, shit.
I got it all on record. Fucking go, guys. Hey, leave it alone, man. I want you to go back and fucking moron.
Come on. Oh, shit. You got him.
Enough! Are you still cheering on? Enough! Get out!
Oh, my God. Just ragdolling the guy.
Get the fuck out of here! No, it's not going well. It's not okay. I asked you to fucking get moving. I said stop looking like an idiot. Get out of here. Fucking embarrassing yourself. And get back. This will happen every fucking cheese on day too. Oh, man, leave him alone. What do you mean leave him alone? You just fucking ran at me. Leave him alone. It's all on camera, man. It's all on camera. It's not. Get out of here. Man. I'm just bringing the fucking You too. It's fine. Get going. We're fine. Back your fucking shit up and go.
Wow. So I believe if we do a little bit of research here, this person is some sort of hockey player, gets into fight, golf or something. All right, yeah. So this is actually from 2015. Former NHL enforcer Nick Tarnatsky gives full story behind viral golf video fight that instantly set him off. So they're all right. Well, we don't need to go into it, but yeah. So at the end of the day, I asked him not to do it. Told him he shouldn't get involved with me, and I asked him to move on, and I gave him every opportunity not to. He charged at me. Tarnatsky said, "I'm not going to fold over. That's not my nature." Let's just watch that one more time of Nick Tarnatsky.
You're not scaring anybody. You're just making. Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey, I'll take a side, buddy. I fucking told you. Man, you want another? Yes, fucking I got it all on record.
I got it all on record. Wait. What is this guy say? I got it all on record. That's pretty funny. So everybody's intoxicated as it seems in this video, even the person recording, because I don't think you would say it. I have it on record if you're sober. That's like a drunk thing to say. I got it on record.
Hey, leave it alone, man. I want you to go back and fucking moron. Come on, man.
Get out. Oh, shit.
Enough! Are you still cheering on? Enough!
All right. That's. Oh, wait. Okay, that's enough. All right, that's enough. Get. So, on to the next Hives Gone Wild. This is a very quick video. This is a Florida man convicted of murder after knocking victim unconscious and pushing him into the water. This is breaking news. Florida man convicted of murder. Oh, okay, look. Okay, oh my God. Holy shit. That's insane. What the hell? Dude. This is insane. Breaking news, everyone. Florida man convicted of murder, pushing someone unconscious, and then pushing them into the water, and then just throwing their phone into the water, throwing their flip flops into the water. Insane. And here we have his face. So the man accused of shoving another man off a boat and rescuing, throwing his body into the water was found guilty on Wednesday. A jury found 52-year-old Kamil Podolsky guilty of one count of murder after a brief trial that took place over the span of 3 days. The family of the victim, Melvin Jermazzi, was in court. Throughout the week, prosecutors argued that Podolsky met the victim at the bar near beach of May 2024 before inviting him back to his boat and to continue drinking. During the trial, surveillance video was shown capturing the night of the murder and the altercation that ensued. It was first time Angelina and Kimberly Sperger, Jimnazi's wife and daughter, said they saw the video. He was a good person. He would never do anything to deserve this. No one deserves to be killed in broad daylight from other people, said Kimberly. Body cam video conversation between the witness and officer was also revealed. A handful of other witnesses called to the stand. Podolsky also took the stand during trial. All things he was saying was just total lies and trying to go after my husband's character. That was just so awful, said Angelina. On Wednesday, following the jury's decision, judge revoked bond for Podolsky and objected him to get to him guilty. Sentence is scheduled August 17th with post-trial motions. So breaking news, people. 52-year-old Kamil Podolsky is convicted of murder. All right. On to the next. So before we do that, let's go into the next story. So bitter old fart loses his mind over kids having fun.
Stop it, motherfucker! Yo, what's you gonna do about it? I got the cops on the way, dude. I'm pushing keys. You think I give a fuck?
You know, it's not that I don't agree with his approach, but they are gonna destroy some property.
Fuck you! You set all this shit up. You know this.
Look at how angry he is.
That's not how you learn this, dude. You fucking loser.
Doesn't even do.
Yeah, don't even mean. Which one is this one? Let's do it.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is a very simple video. All right, let's move on to the next Hives Gone Wild. This brought to you by Hunter Biden, talking about Republican gay mafia.
Everybody knows there is like this closeted gay mafia, largely Republican, that exist in Washington, D.C., and everybody knows every single one of them who's gay. And so it's, and what I believe, the only reason that is relevant is because I believe that internal conflict creates so much vitriol inside a person that they take it out on the rest of the world. And they do. And so what they do is their whole lives they've been closeted. And so you have this like black ball inside yourself. This like blackened heart by the fact that you can't be who you want to be. And so you take it out on everybody else. And these men, largely men, have done exactly that. And everybody knows who they are. And so you have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So there it is, folks. Breaking story from Hunter Biden accusing the, essentially there's a gay Republican, and he's probably not wrong. I don't think he's wrong. There's a lot of them, like Lindsey Graham. Oh my God. The dogs are going crazy. All right, on to the next video here. Brought to you by Elon Musk.
You support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very fringe parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What do you call the far right? Falsely.
You think as the normal person? Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks I think is funny. One thing that is quite funny is to like take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on the sort of what I call the lunatic left, and say, what do you think of the speech by Trump? I'm like, oh wow, he's the worst person ever. Actually, that was a speech by Obama, or actually, that was a speech by Hillary.
I agree. No, I agree that the center of gravity in this country has shifted. Certainly, the Democratic Party shifted to the left, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Rupert Lowe.
Fringe right, please.
People.
It's actually just normal people. It's just normal people. It's just normal people, and and here are the principles. And tell me, which of these sound terrible? That we should have secure borders. That we should have safe cities. That we should have sensible spending. Which of those three are far right fringe? And
that's a very good question he posed. Secure borders, sensible spending, and what was the other one he said?
Which of those three are that we should have secure borders? That we should have safe cities.
Safe cities, sensible spending. Secured borders, safe cities, sensible spending. That's very true. Like, there's nothing that people should disagree with.
That we should have sensible spending. Which of those three are far right fringe? And I would like to just admonish you and the media for the absurd characterization of the far right, which is false and misleading and nonsense. Please keep this part in.
We'll keep all of this in. But let me
Don't cut this part.
Let me push back on that. Let me push back on that.
Because it is nonsense.
You have, what is it, close to 250 million followers on X.
Yeah,
you say things like...
Popular guy.
Very, very funny. I wonder if we can find a longer form of this. But there you go, have it, folks. Elon Musk just ripping a new one in media. Let's maybe let's see if we can. Elon Musk economist.
You don't buy the idea that anybody, and to put it really crudely and simply, any kid in Africa died because of the suddenness with which.
Zero.
I just don't think that's right. I just don't think. I've had people reporting in Africa who.
How many NGOs are there that could step in? Because bear in mind, it happened quickly. And there are literally tens of thousands of NGOs.
Yeah, not everyone functions as fast as you do. If funding is cut off for antiretrovirals overnight and it just stops, then people will die when they don't have access to them, and it just
only if they cannot get funding for that. But the Gates Foundation has $50 billion. What about that? What about any one of a number of organizations? What about
well, in lots of these countries, USAID,
Mackenzie, whatever her last name is, History Bezos, gave $50 billion. What about that?
But Elon, let's be practical. In many of these countries, USAID was the big
money restored. Obviously, it will be the latter because there are.
Well, he was like, I wanted to see the.
It's far less than what can
people
be.
say that you're a racist. What is the motivation for doing that? Are you fomenting
my partner is she's half Indian, and my and I have 4 children with her. One of them was named after a famous Indian physicist. So I would say I'm not racist, and also if you look at the people that are employed at my companies, with senior executives of all races, there's I don't think there's any racism there.
Are you anti-Muslim?
I'm against having if people are coming to a country with antithetical views, I am against that. I'm against that. I'm against I'm against rape and murder. I'm against the imposition of rules and laws that are contrary to what we've come to accept in the West. And I think it's a crying shame that the sort of traditional media like you don't recognize this.
Wow. This is crazy. So in other news, we have this. Shiloh Hendricks found guilty by a Minnesota jury for using the N-word.
Did you call him a nigger, the child?
Oh.
Did you call the child a nigger word? It is my business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, I don't know.
All right, that's what you say.
I don't know if I should be playing this.
I'm little fucking kid, you Debbie Johnny.
A little kid, you call him a nigger?
Well, this is for news purposes. We're trying to show that this is a new breaking news. She's been found guilty.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
That's what you're gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what you're gonna act like.
That's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Well, there we go, folks. There we have it. Should we do another Hive Gone Wild story just before we end the segment with our B story of the day? And let's see what we got. Which story we should do. Trump is all right. Who's this guy? Isn't he the interesting? So this guy's accusing. I forgot his name. He's on that show, I think, Landman, now, or like Yellowstone. No, he's never mind. This guy's not relevant. He was, but let's just hear what he has to say, because he's making these wild accusations.
People, I think, are a little bit afraid of me because they're like, he's a loose cannon. And I'm not. I'm just saying the shit that everybody should say if they give a shit about humanity. Everybody else should feel like I feel. The world is on fire. Like, mad about the way things are and the abuses that are happening. The Epstein files. The fucking Epstein files.
Okay, why is this guy yelling?
Where are they? It's a fucking law, bitch. Show it. You fucking pedophiles. I shouldn't say fuck because I'm a Christian, and people are going to be like, how can you say fuck and he's a Christian? Because that is something that should make...
This guy's just trying to get some rage bait content. We're gonna watch something else. Shocking UPS driver throws...
Have you met Elon Musk?
I have. I met him before he turned into this creature. I really resent him now. I really deeply resent him. I met him many, many years ago. I think SpaceX had just built their headquarters in LA, and I got to go on a tour because I wanted to see the rocket ships. And he was interested in donating money to an organization that I was a part of in Haiti that was building hospitals and schools, and he was quite interested in donating money. And I believe he did donate a little bit of money, and that's appreciated. But I was kind of confused by him. I never would have predicted that he would go the path that he's gone now, because he did seem really smart.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Olivia Wilde, she was a fan of Elon Musk. Now she's not anymore, so there you have it. So let's do one more I've Gone Wild story. What we got here?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
We should go over this just for one thing, because if we want to ban somebody in the future, I actually think we have to point out specifically someone who's being
Just for reference, everyone, so this video is a Sacramento mayor caught on hot mic discussing banning residents who voice concerns from city council meetings.
I was going to spend my first 6 months on it. I wanted to give a probation.
We should go over this just for one thing, because if we want to ban somebody in the future, I actually think we have to point out specifically someone who's being
Can't do it. Can't. So I was going to spend my probation.
Oh. She thought she turned off the mic. But she did.
Of them talking. So for those that don't know, the woman, she's the vice mayor, Democrats, because
we should go over this just for one thing, because if we want to ban somebody in the future, I actually think we have to point out specifically someone who's being
Can't do it. Can't. know, I can't spend my first 6 months, but I want to give people probation. You can't.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. These mayors, man, I tell ya. All right. Final video, folks.
You believe in Jesus? No, but I want to make sure. Hold on, you gotta talk to me for a second. You don't believe in Jesus? What do you believe in, bro? Nothing. Why don't you believe in Jesus? Buzz. Wait, look at me for a second. Serious, do you think it's a coincidence we ran into each other? No. Bro, how are you gonna run up to me and tell me you're gonna take a picture and you're gonna go talk to me about Jesus? Bro, because here's the reality, bro. You know where I stand, and I know where you stand right now. Where do you think you're gonna go when you die? Nowhere. Bro, what? Why? I don't know. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you, like, hold on, you gotta listen to me for a second. Because I believe that Jesus is the truth, and you just told me that you don't believe in Jesus, that makes me not want you to walk away, because I think it's the truth. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So look, bro, I used to be addicted to Snapchat, I used to be addicted to pornography, I used to be addicted to a whole bunch of different things trying to fill the hole in my heart, and it never worked, bro. I literally want to take my life, seriously. I want to take my life because nothing worked for me. I looked for it in porn, people pleasing, sports, everything. The whole 9 yards didn't work. Bro, I think you know yourself better than I know you. You know things aren't working in your life, bro. Yeah, and I think we need something greater than ourselves, something greater than Snapchat, something greater than that. We need Jesus, bro. Because one day we're gonna die, we're gonna stand before God, and that's gonna be the realest you've ever felt in your life. You think this is real, bro? You think this is real? It's gonna be more alive and more real than we've ever felt in our life, bro. This is life or death. I'm serious.
So that's a very nice message from Bryce Crawford. Go check him out, folks. All right, now we're moving on to our B story of the day, brought to you by the Smithsonian. Bumblebees seem to lick their lips after sweet treats and shake their heads at bad tastes. I should say, sorry, it's brought to you by the Smithsonian Magazine.com. So again, bumblebees seem to lick their lips after sweet treats and shake their heads at bad tastes, hinting at the insect's inner lives. Slow motion video suggests that insects display distinct behaviors when they like or dislike a snack. The findings might offer a new way to study their emotion-like states. Brought to you, the story written by Ellie Stark Elestar. Here's a video of a bumblebee sticking its tongue out, potentially a sign that it liked the flavor. How do you know if a bumblebee is enjoying a meal? Possibly the same way you would know for a dog, licking its lips. When bumblebees, okay, well, let's see what these, if this is true. We got honeybees on video, and they're really going crazy right now. So let's give them a little bee feed. So let's see if they're. I see bees licking their lips. Let's give them a little bit of bee feed. All right. Do you see the bees licking their lips, folks? Yeah, let's do just the bees. We got some of them sticking their little tongues out. All right, let's go back to the main story again. So, when bumblebees sip something sweet, they extend and retract their tongues, but consuming unpleasant conjections leads to shaking their heads and wiping their mouths. Researchers report some sort of drink. But consuming unpleasant liquids leads to them shaking their heads and wiping their mouths, researchers reported. The findings suggest that insects can evaluate foods based on whether they like or dislike the taste, rather than just how useful or harmful they are. Behaviors indicating emotions have been long seen and studied in mammals, but they have been harder to identify in insects. Many people are comfortable saying that the insects can sense, learn, and make decisions. Feng Peng, a study co-author, and bee cognition researcher at the Southern Medical University in China, says in a statement. But the idea insects may find things pleasant or unpleasant is more controversial, he says. Our findings push on that intuition. In a study, Peng and the colleagues presented buff-tailed bumblebees. So let's see how these look. Buff-tailed bumblebees. Oh wow. Yes, this is a very familiar type of bumblebee. It's a pretty large bumblebee. Very cute. From 18 colonies with droplets of different flavored waters, plain, sweet, salty, bitter. The team recorded the critters while they drank with their glosses, which are long tongue-like mouth parts for sipping nectar. Slow motion videos reveal that after consuming sugary liquids, bumblebees move their glosses in and out, and as though they were savoring the taste. Meanwhile, the bitter salty liquids led to aversion behaviors like head shaking, mouth wiping, and backing away. All right, let's see this video. It reaches for a while. Oh wow. So I think they just have a demonstration of a bee doing this, but that's incredible that it does this. They will shake their heads. So this did not like that. Interesting. Wow. So, though reactions hinted at something akin to emotional states, the researchers could not rule out the possibility they were mere reflexes. For instance, humans will raise a leg when it's tapped just below the kneecap, hinting the patellar tendon, but that doesn't mean they like it. To distinguish whether the bees were displaying something more than reflexes, the team alerted the bees' internal states. In one experiment, they dehydrated the insects by warming them to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That caused the bees to change their response to salty water. They extended and retracted their glosses just as they previously had for the sugary solutions. This reaction, similar to a person enjoying an electrolyte drink on a hot day, suggested that the glow sauce's movements are not fixed. 108 degrees Fahrenheit is about 40 degrees. It's like 35 degrees. So they didn't kill the bees, but they warmed them. So they were dehydrated, and they caused the bees to change their response to salty water. This reaction, similar to person enjoying an electrolyte drink on a hot day, suggested that the glow sauce movements are not fixed responses to specific chemicals, but instead dependent on what the insects need at the time. The researchers also manipulated the bees' brain chemistry, exposing them to chemicals, including dopamine, that generally motivate animals to seek food, made the bees even more eager for sugar. After drinking a sweet solution, however, they did not produce the same glow sauce movements as before, indicating that they were enjoying the meal more than usual. Additionally, an endocannabinoid chemical which amplifies sensations during reward experiences made the insects less motivated to consume sugar. When they did drink it, however, they showed enhanced positive reactions. The different effects of these chemicals hint at the distinction between liking and wanting in insects, according to the team. For instance, an animal can be motivated to consume something without necessarily finding it pleasurable. The findings hint that, like in mammals, facial movements on bumblebees could provide clues about what's happening in their heads. What this is showing us that even from like an animal like a bee, there's some sort of inner life for that insect, says co-author Andrew Barron, who studies neural mechanics of animal behavior at Marquee University of Australia. To news scientist James Woodford, there's something going on here. It's evaluating its world, is experiencing its world, and if it's not a robotic entity running on a program. I don't know why they're calling it. They do have genders. Still, the new findings do not prove that the bumblebees feel pleasure or disgust in the same way humans do. Research framed that behavior as evidence that animals assign a positive or negative value to an experience. Thomas White, an entomologist at University of Sydney who was not involved in a study, tells the Guardian Petra Stock that the insect sentiency research is a fast-moving field. Most work, he notes, has focused on negative states such as pain or fear, but new work stands out since it looks as a positive side of life. We underestimate insects so much, says Jonathan Birch, an animal sentiency research at London School of Economics and Political Science, who is not involved in the study, to the New Scientist. It's led to a golden age of various charming studies where scientists use modern techniques, sometimes just high-resolution, high-frame-rate video, as in this study, to reveal behaviors people have been missing. Incredible. How incredible is this, people? We just, so they were able to see that bees have an inner life. Let's check out this buck-tailed bumblebee. So what can we draw any conclusions? So if we go to the bee cam again, see there. So we're not forcing them to eat, but they want to eat. Why would they eat it if they don't want to eat it? You know what I mean? Like, look at that guy just right up over here. It's right there. This one here. I think I could just grab it. This one, look at it. Or even this one. Check it out. We could zoom in on this here. Incredible. So let's give them a little bit more feed, but I think it's run out of feed. Oh no, we got a little bit more left. Let's build it up there. Awesome. So there you have it, folks. That has been your roundup of your Daily BAAS Buzz. Thank you so much for joining us. Join tomorrow again at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We apologize that we were late today, and then we will try to be more on time. Well, adios, amigos.